This is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player 1. Player 2. Player 3. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories: presidential campaigns, the national park system, fictional characters, you are what you eat, Noms de plume, and the Olympic Games. Player 1, make a selection, please. What a happy ending. This title orphan of a Dickens novel is adopted by Mr. Brownlow. Okay, Player 1. That's correct. This character in the legend of Sleepy Hollow is said to be the ghost of a Hessian trooper. Player 1. You are correct. She is the narrator of To Kill a Mockingbird. It's Player 1. That's correct. Player 2 names that follow Gerald, who speaks in weird sounds instead of words in a Dr. Seuss story. Okay, Player 1. That is correct. In a story by Rudyard Kipling, this mongoose protects an English family from snakes. It's Player 1. Correct. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. A national memorial in this city commemorates the site of the April 19, 1995 bombing that killed 168. Yes, Player 1? Yes. The Philadelphia home where he wrote The Telltale Heart is now a National Historic Site. Okay, Player 1? That's correct. Fort Necessity, the site of the first battle of this war on July 3, 1754, was designated a national battlefield in 1961. Let's hear it, Player 1. Right you are. Lying in both Tennessee and North Carolina, it has more annual visitors than any other national park. Let's hear it, Player 1. Good. Player 1. Christiansted National Historic Site on this largest of the U.S. Virgin Islands commemorates its Danish heritage. Okay, Player 1. Good for you.
Yeah! Woo!
You again, Player 1. In French, this graceful swimmer is un cygne. Okay, player one.
Yeah!
This peaceful bird is une colombe. It's player one. That's it. Player one. Ask your mother. This silly bird is une oie. Yes, player one. That's right. Way to go. Player this one. Nocturnal bird of prey is un hibou. It's player one. Correct. Player this one. Small game bird is une caille. Okay, player one. Yep. Player one, you pick again. You might have to get as high as 20 feet off the ground to win a medal in this field event. It's player one. Yes. In the Olympic 400-meter relay final, this many runners compete together as a team. Player one? No. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the response we were looking for. 4. Next to the marathon, it's the longest running event in the Summer Olympics. Let's hear it, player one. No. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the correct response. The 10,000 meters. Player one. It's the Daily Double. You are in first place. What are you going to wager? And the clue. Norway's Andreas Thorkildsen won a 2008 gold medal by throwing this 90.57 meters. Even so, you are still in the lead. Here's the response we were looking for. The javelin. All right, here with the clue is Sarah.
Led by Angel de Maria, this South American powerhouse won its second consecutive gold in men's soccer at the 2008 Games.
It's player one. No. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? It's player three. Yes. A lot of clues, a lot of categories, player three. Make us yes. Tweet, if you eat this sticky liquid, comb and all, I'll definitely call you my this. Let's hear it, player one. Right. Player one. Eat too many of this original gourmet jelly bean, and its name may describe your tummy. It's player one. Right. Player one. If I eat a Frankfurter before I show off my skiing stunts, you have every reason to call me one of these. Let's hear it, player one. Yes. So Louis Browning ate more than 22,000 of these cream-filled Hostess cakes. If you did the same, we'd call you one. Okay, player one. Yes. If you spend your last dime on one of these New Orleans-style hero sandwiches, you really will turn into one. Let's hear it, player one. Yeah, good. Player one. A campaign slogan in 1964 said, "All the way with these 3 letters." Okay, player one. You are correct. Player I pledge you, I pledge myself to a new deal for the American people, he said in accepting his 1932 nomination. Player one? That is correct. The 1976 ticket of Jimmy Carter and this running mate was dubbed Fritz and Grits. Player one? That's right. Way to go.
Yeah! Woo!
Player in 1916, he campaigned under the slogan, "He kept us out of war." Let's hear it, player one. Right. Let's have a look at the $1,000 clue. The Whigs used a log cabin as a symbol in his 1840 campaign. Yes, player one? Nope. Sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's the response we were looking for. William Henry Harrison. Okay, we have player two in third place, which means that player two will go first in the Double Jeopardy round. We start the Double Jeopardy categories with this one. Classical composers. Religion. Crossword clues B. Sea life. De Gaulle of that guy. And the comics. A lot of clues, a lot of categories. Player two. In 1762, this 6-year-old and his sister performed for Empress Maria Teresa. Let's hear it, player one. Right. Player one. For several years, his friend Carl Amenda was one of the few people who knew about his increasing deafness. Okay, player one. You are correct. Answer. The first of the daily doubles. You are in first place. Player one, please select your wager. The clue. During his lifetime, Johann Sebastian Bach was best known as a master of this instrument. You have maintained your lead. Way to go. Player one. He composed the Four Seasons in 1723. Yes, player one. You are correct. On March 3rd, 1875, his Carmen premiered in Paris, and he was decorated with the French Legion of Honor. It's player one. That is correct. Player one, back to you for this Peanuts character got a sister named Sally in 1959. Okay, player one. You got it. So, Weirdo would be another name for this Dan Ferraro comic that began as a replacement for The Far Side. Yes, player one? That's it. Mr. Munster wasn't the subject of this 1975 to 1992 Jim Unger strip. It's player one.
Yeah!
Right. Player Bob Fave's comic, Frank bums around with this guy. It's player one. No, sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the correct response. Ernest. This edgy Aaron Magruder comic strip debuted in 1996. Let's hear it, player one. No. Any other takers? Let's hear it, player two. Very good. Player two, start us. This herring-like pizza fish is attracted by light, so it's fished at night. Okay, player one. Right. Player one, here's Sarah with the clue.
Sad to say, walruses as well as elephants were often hunted to get this valuable material.
Okay, player one. Good.
Yeah! Woo!
Player one. The skin of an octopus contains cells called chromatophores that allow it to do this when excited. Let's hear it, player one. Yes.
Yeah! Woo!
Shovel, slipper, and spiny are species of this creature of the order Decapoda. Okay, player one. No. Sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's what we wanted. The lobster. We return to this white whale related to the narwhal is the only whale that can bend its neck. Player one. You got it. Player one, you pick again, please. A baby belch, 4 letters. Yes, player one. Right. You again, player one. It precedes dance, laugh, or flop, 5 letters. Let's hear it, player one. Hey, you're right. Player one, you pick again. Best-selling book that has its own belt, 5 letters. Okay, player one.
Yeah!
Right you are. You again. A throng, often of beauties, 4 letters. Let's hear it, player one. Right. Please pick again. Mr. Bumble's occupation in Oliver Twist, 6 letters. Player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Player three. Right. Player three, you're in command of the board as we continue, right? People of this religion call Christians and Jews, their fellow monotheists, al-Kitab, people of the book. Yes, player one? Right. We're one of 3 major branches of Christianity. It originated in a 16th century Reformation. Okay, player one? Hey, you're right.
Yeah! Woo!
You. Answer. The second daily double. You are in the lead right now. Decide on your wager, player one. The clue. This term for a Jewish house of worship comes from the Greek for meeting. You have maintained your lead. Way to go. Player one. Begin this act, part of penance, by saying, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." Then spill the beans. One? Yes. Player one. Zen, a branch of this Asian religion, aims for satori, or enlightenment. Okay, player one. That's correct. Player 1. De Gaulle's June 18, 1940 broadcast in this city asking for France's leadership led to a death sentence in a French court. Let's hear it, Player 1. Nope. Sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's what we were looking for. London. Player 1. De Gaulle wanted a small mobile army versus static theories like this defensive line named for a minister of war. Yes, Player 1? Right you are. Player Charles de Gaulle fought in this February to July 1916 battle in which the Germans did not pass. Let's hear it, Player 1. No. Sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? It's Player 2. Nope. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Let's hear it, Player 3. Yes. Player 3, where do we start? In 1965, de Gaulle won the presidency by defeating this socialist, later France's leader from 1981 to 1995. Player 1? Right.
Yeah! Woo!
And now the $2,000 clue. In 1925, de Gaulle was promoted to the staff of the Supreme War Council by this marshal. It's Player 1. No, sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? We're talking about Henri-Philippe Pétain. You all move on to Final Jeopardy, which will continue after these messages. We're back. The category for Final Jeopardy today is American Publishing. So, what's your wager? Here's your Final Jeopardy clue. The 1860 frontier novel Malaesca, the first of its kind, sold 300,000 copies for total sales revenue of this. What did you put as your response? With that correct response, you will gain. Did you come up with the correct response? And this correct response will add how much to your score? What did you put as your response? And that correct response will add. You've come out ahead as our champion, Player 1. We'll see you next time.